All right, we're back. Graveyard Shift movie podcast
No warning, you
episode.
jumped right in.
I like to keep y'all on your toes. Episode number
I have no
35.
clue.
Oh, that's the diabetes. Gotcha. Um, episode number 35. This week, it was Tyler's pick, and he picked Mandy from 2018, starring the one and only Nicolas Cage. Which we're big Nicolas Cage fans here on the on the
I don't know
channel.
if I am.
Yeah.
I was thinking about the other day. I was like, is he that great or like I don't know.
I go back and forth on it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So, hey Tyler, what you score in this movie? I've started off first the last couple times, so I'm changing it up.
Oh, I mean, I give this movie a 9.5.
9.5.
I would say it's one of my favorite movies,
Uh-huh.
just in general. Not even like horror, thriller, or
Yeah.
whatever. So, that's me.
Maverick, what are you giving?
Let's give it a solid 4.
4. I was
Yeah.
going. Oh.
Eat your ass.
I was going with a 4.5.
Ah, what a bitch.
I
You
was
gave it a 4. What?
yeah. Yeah, I always told Tyler when I watched it the first time how like the first half of the movie I don't like at all, and then the
Terrible.
second half I was pretty into. And so watching it again, I was like, well, maybe I'll be into it now to but now I'm not even sure if I enjoy the second half that much as I did the first time. So so um so anyway, hey, a spoiler warning for Mandy. Everything's getting ruined. Just don't get mad at us. So, begin.
I don't know if there's much of a spoiler in this movie. It's just like a classic revenge tale.
Why just like when we watched because this is the same director who made the what is that movie even called? Black Rainbow? Beyond the Black Rainbow. Same director who made that movie, which I do think this movie is much better than that movie.
Oh, yeah,
But-
for sure.
But I blanked out. I don't know where I was going with this. What was I going to say, Tyler? Oh,
I
when we did the Black Rainbow podcast, I remember you being like, "Oh yeah, well Mandy's just sort of like Nick Cage, like saving the girl and stuff." And I remember being like, "Ooh," because spoiler warning: Nick Cage does not save the girl in this movie. She she gets burnt to a crisp, which I saw that with I remember watching it and being like, "Oh, fuck."
It's hardcore.
Yeah.
Oh, but this whole movie is like that, though. I don't know. It's
Yeah, I agree with that.
how do you? It's a weird tale. Like I look at it as like kind of like what's that we talk about? I don't never remember the name of it.
Okay.
The Killing Joke. About how one bad day, because like you watch
Oh
this
yeah,
movie
the Killing Joke.
and it implies that Nick Cage used to be like a bad man, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then he has to go get killer or whatever
Yeah.
the crossbow is called that he uses once.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just
But-
turns into John Wick for no reason.
But
He has a dad bod John Wick.
I think at the end it's supposed to be like this transformative tale, right? To where he goes, they kill his girl, and he goes down and he hunts all these people and like kills half of them in cold blood. You
Yeah.
know, like well not half, maybe like 2.
Wait,
Alright.
who? Cold blood?
Yeah, like the guy at the end, he just kills, murders. I mean, don't get me wrong, he killed his. I mean, it's that whole Manson thing, right? To where it's like, did he really kill her?
What did
No, yeah.
They all
Jeremiah.
deserve to die, Tyler.
Yeah, but the whole thing about the ending of this movie is that he's turned into a monster just like them, right? Like he's not the same normal lumberjack he once was.
Yeah. Why
And that's
did
like why he looks over and sees himself because he's not him anymore. He's ascended or whatever.
Well, I remember I didn't notice it the first time, but watching it this time I did. Where they talk about there's these these monsters. What is the name? They say the name of them. The Black Skulls, I think, are what they're called.
Yeah, Black Skulls.
And they're like this biker gang who through some mutated LSD is
Yeah,
turned
some
into
fucked-ass
like
LSD.
yeah. So they tell the I can't remember the name of the guy that Nick Cage goes to get his gun back, but he tells him the whole origin of the Black Skulls, and he goes he talks about the LSD turned them in, messed up their mind. They've never been the same since. They're like monsters. Later on in the movie, Nick Cage finds the jar of LSD and like takes one little finger of it and like puts it on his tongue and sees like his face melting and everything.
Yeah, it was dope. That scene
It was cool.
My favorite.
And all right, well, we know what Maverick's gonna pick for, and then later on in the movie, he talks like the bikers and stuff, where his voice is like you don't, and it's like all deep and stuff. So I think at that point, Nick Cage is just one of the bike. He's like gone.
Yeah, he's a Cinnabite.
He's a Cinnabite. Yeah.
Throwback.
Yeah.
So, but that's the crazy thing is like, I don't know. This movie's so good because it's a complete story, and like I kind of want a sequel, but I don't know what it would be.
I don't either.
Yeah, I don't think you could follow this one. Unless it just turns into him being John Wick going around killing fucking crazed fanatics. Like,
Well, let's all the bikers, right? Like before they were before they went crazy, right? You know, like because like that's the weird thing. I'm getting off the sequel thing, but it's like he wakes up in their house, whatever, chained to the thing, and he's going through killing them all. And you know they're out doing like dirty deeds, dirt cheap, you know, just to get this magic
LSD.
serum. Yeah, but they have like booze everywhere, a mountain of cocaine, all
Mountain
this
of
stuff.
cocaine. Yeah.
the most coke I've ever seen in a fucking movie.
Well, I mean, blow, but anyways, it's like you think that nothing gets them off anymore, right? That the only thing that really does the trick is
Pain.
well. The
LSD too,
yeah.
But I just
So
remember
it's
that
like-
line of the dude being like, "When I saw them, they were in pain, and they fucking loved it."
Yeah, that shit was crazy. Can we talk about the dude with the sword cock? Like, that was wild. I didn't expect that.
Wait, we don't all have the okay. Just
He fucking was that
you hear me like sheath my penis.
Yeah.
fucking. So I'm guessing he's the one when you saw like the couple, the old couple, and on the bed, and the dude's ass was torn to shit. I'm guessing that was him.
That was Cage. Yeah,
It was Nick Cage. Yeah.
I don't know. Like the whole visual thing of this movie is great. Like
It's
I
decent.
love
Nah,
the way it's shot. Everything.
the fucking
like,
the beginning is really fucking dark.
Yeah.
Like visually, just dark as hell, and it's quiet too. So I was like, "Fuck! I wish I had subtitles."
I wished I had subtitles. Near the end, like I was able to pick them up most of the time, but the monsters, whenever they were talking, I was sort of like, what? And then like I was like, oh, he said this, but I wish I would have just had the subtitles for them alone. But
there's a lot of weird parts where subtitles come in handy, like when the lady is tripping or whatever.
Yeah.
There's a lot of weird stuff there. I mean, you guys say this, but it's usually just one click on the options to turn on these subtitles. Everything I watch, I have subtitles on.
Listen.
Oh, the words you will see.
The two Hellraiser references and fucking.
Yep.
It's real dark in the beginning, except for the one shot of them on the lake. It was super trippy. That I was like, is it like the water didn't look real when they were fishing or whatever? I just really liked that shot. It was real bright blue. It was cool looking. Also, you find out later, apparently that's Crystal Lake. I was like,
fuck?
yeah, they go, oh yeah, we live down by Crystal Lake. And I was like, now, to be fair, maybe that's just her weird sense of humor, and it's not really Crystal Lake, but you see she's like a heavy metal like horror girl, so maybe she's just joking that. But if not, there's a subplot here with Jason.
Well, I mean, at the end it shows the sky and there's like 3 moons
Yeah.
or whatever. So it's not Earth,
Yeah.
at all. But I mean, none of these movies are on Earth, right? Like they are, but
Yeah.
it's like a fictional planet. So I don't know. Like, I think it's like an art taste. This movie is like like an art film or whatever. To where like if you don't,
I think his past like 5 movies have been art takes. Maybe not specifically from him, whoever directed it, but
Willy's Wonderland. So-
yeah. Like,
well, that's
I
yet to
mean-
come out, right?
I don't know. I think it isn't out yet.
what's the other one? Color Out of Space or whatever.
Color Out of Space,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's definitely like a hot take on some type of art. Who
Well, that's supposed
fucking
to be a
knows?
H.P. Lovecraft thing, but
Yeah.
like these two, yeah. But I don't know what Cage did before that. I'm sure it wasn't an art movie. It was like Ghost Rider 7.
Listen, are you telling me that's not art?
It might have been The Wicker Man. Like I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what. He's just sort of popped back up into pop culture for me. Like, it seemed like he disappeared for a while.
I think that's how he does it, man.
Yeah, might be.
He probably disappears to make these fucking movies.
He
Yeah.
finances a lot of them. Like a lot of them,
Yeah.
he is like, let's do it.
Yeah.
I think that's the fucking problem, to get off on a tangent, is when these big actors are just dying off, they're like, instead of like just getting like picked for a part in a movie, they're like, yeah, this sounds like a good idea. I'm just gonna bankroll the whole thing. And I'm just like, that ruins it.
I mean, this movie is great. I don't know, like,
I don't know. I sort of gave it a 4. So,
well, that's because
to each his own, right?
yeah. Like I said, it's. I don't know.
Well, can we talk?
Like I was,
Okay.
Hmm?
I would. No,
Yeah.
go ahead.
I was just thinking, like, Thomas sent me a link of a guy who had his whole arm tattooed in Hellraiser, and we watched the first 2 now. I don't know if that's a spoiler.
Hellraiser 2 Overtime will be out Monday.
So we watched the two of them now, and there's nothing in that would ever make me want to get a tattoo of those people.
Yeah.
But there's like a committed fan base to it. So
Yeah.
I mean, it is a taste thing, but
Um,
Mandy's amazing.
I was going to talk about the best Nicolas Cage line in this whole movie, which is the knock knock, who's there? Eric Estrada. Eric Estrada who? Eric Estrada from Chips.
What the fuck? Did I miss that? How the fuck? I don't even get that reference.
I don't either. But that's his like first line of the whole movie. He walks into Mandy's house. And he goes, Eric Estrada from Chips.
Maybe you just misheard it, and
No,
then he
that's
says
what he
something else.
says.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Eric Estrada.
Eric Estrada.
Eric Estrada from Chips.
It's
You
great.
really don't understand that reference?
I know. Well, I know Chips, but
Yeah.
I've never watched it.
That's
So
a great show.
hold on. But anyway, shout out to that.
Maybe
late-
it's supposed to be like a setting the time frame type joke.
Yeah,
right?
keep it. I don't think they ever say it in the movie, but when you look at the description, this like Black Rainbow is just randomly placed in the 80s. Like this is a 80s movie, and it's
like
like,
car wise and even chainsaw wise, right?
Mhm.
Like everything in this.
Oh yeah, fucking
is pretty
chainsaw
dated.
battle.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
that was when Tyler. So Tyler saw this movie, came to work the next day, and told me and Bags about how amazing it was. And the one clip he pulled up from it was the Nick Cage revving up his chainsaw, and then the one guy going, and then pulling
Yeah.
out the
His
the
chainsaw
longer
just, like,
chainsaw.
Comically just keeps on coming. And I'm just like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I saw it coming. Like I was like, watch him pull out his own chainsaw, and it's
Yeah.
gonna be comically large. And then he does it, and I'm like, well,
Called your bluff. They
Yeah.
did it. But yeah, that was something.
in a fist fight too, that dude was built as fuck. And Johnny Cage over here with dad bod number 10, like I don't see him winning that fight in a
Yeah.
hand to hand. but you never know.
Well, I mean, it's the thing that like it's what what inspires you, whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like Nick Cage is set on revenge, so his motivating force was, no matter what, I'm gonna. It's the same thing. Like you see little scrappy people beat up these big dudes all the time, and it's like,
I give him the benefit of the doubt. He was hopped up on LSD and a fucking
Yeah,
key
at
of
that
cocaine.
point, he wasn't Nick Cage. He was like one of the biker people. But
another demon.
Um,
But
I posted so this movie has a weird thing where it starts off with a quote about rock, and then
Dwayne Johnson.
the first song that plays in the movie is a King Crimson song, which King Crimson's like a 70s sort of prog rock band. And a lot of people have a weird take where they say this is like a weird, trippy rock opera movie. Oh, Dr. Pepper, shout out. But anyway, and then I saw that later on in the movie, Nick Cage makes an axe spear like sort of combo thing that he's got going on, and I saw that it was funny enough.
We're gonna have to bring that back up later.
Yeah, funny enough, it was based on this metal band that recently I listened to an album that I told Tyler was 10 out of 10, named Celtic Frost, on their logo. And I was like, what? What do you mean? And I looked it up and I sent it in chat. That F, I was like, oh, yep, sure enough, that's just the axe. But, so anyway, fun fact. Based on Celtic Frost, the album. So what do you want to talk about the axe, man?
So, you see him, he just magically has a fucking forge in his fucking, wherever the fuck
Don't we
he
all
goes.
have forges?
So, he fucking pours it, right?
Uh-huh.
And he has, like, think the simple, like, torch forge. I'm assuming it was aluminum when he was pouring it, because it's fucking shiny as shit, too.
Yeah.
He pours the aluminum, but then you see him fucking hammering on it. You don't fucking hammer, like, hammer an anvil. You don't fucking when you pour it, you don't fucking hammer it, too. And especially not fucking aluminum. So it was like it went from him pouring aluminum to him fucking blacksmithing it and then like acting like it was steel. Whoever the fuck came up with that scene had no idea what the fuck they were talking about. And it pissed me off. And I'm sure Tyler knows exactly what I'm talking about, but I'm nitpicking here, but and then if it was aluminum, it doesn't keep a fucking edge, so he's out here chopping motherfuckers' heads off, and I'm like, that's not how this works. But whatever. I'm over it. Rant over.
I like to imagine that Maverick watched this whole movie, loved every bit of it, and then it got to that part, and he went, "Oh, 4." He was
I
like,
mean,
"How dare you!"
like the first 20 minutes, but
The
I
axe
mean-
was near the end of the movie.
no, the axe when he made it.
Yeah.
It was the beginning, wasn't it?
No,
No,
that's
it was,
like,
like,
after
middle.
Mandy's
And-
dead. He's went and talked to
it
the
was
dude.
like right when he's right after. That's when the movie really starts.
He makes the axe, and then like an hour 20 minutes in the movie, we get the title card of Mandy.
Yeah. No, we got like 2 title cards.
He did get 2, but
And I was like, what the I thought I was watching the wrong movie.
It was,
when it pops
wasn't-
up and it's Children of the New Dawn or whatever.
Yeah, and I was like, what the fuck? Threw me off.
So my theory on the axe is that he makes it's forged aluminum, but then he
Forged
puts a
aluminum,
piece
yeah.
of steel in for the blade,
And that's
and
what
then
he
that's
hammers.
him hammering it out into the aluminum / everything. Who knows? Because the guy from Dead Meat has one, and it's aluminum. He dropped it and it broke.
Yeah, aluminum not strong
So
at all.
Hmm.
It's not
Well-
hard at all, so it can't keep an edge even if you sharpen it a million times.
it'll be sharp once, but
Yeah.
after that. So who knows, man? It could be
Fucking
like
bullshit.
some high carbon steel or whatever. But anyway,
Yeah.
you're right. Like that axe it's dumb. There's no point for it in the movie. Like
Yeah.
And he made the whole thing out of metal. So if it was like solid like steel or stainless steel because it's fucking shiny as shit, it'd be like 900 pounds.
Listen,
I'm like,
he's
that's-
a strong boy. Okay.
apparently.
I wrote this down just because a little spoiler for Hunter x Hunter here. If you don't want to spoil that, you might want to skip this little part.
Hunter,
But-
Hunter. That's the one with
With Devon Sawa, yeah, we're in the
Yeah.
woods. They had a conversation early on in the movie where Nick Cage was like, I think we should move out of here, get closer to like a city or something. But Mandy was like, no, I like it here. It's like our own little place.
I love the house. Not to interrupt. But
Yeah.
It was too many windows for me.
Man,
way
it's-
too many
but you're out in
windows.
the wilderness. No one's around, so you can walk
Yeah.
around big swinging and not worry about
Someone
shit.
was around.
Someone was,
Well-
but that's and that's the only is. Then I was like, it just reminded me. I was like, oh, because Hunter x Hunter, they have the exact same conversation, only it's the man Devon Sawa who wants to stay and his wife wants to leave. And spoiler, both movies, the people who want to stay end up fucking dead. So
Well, it's like that
Why-
in every movie, right? Like when people enter a haunted house and they go, "This place is pretty creepy. We should get the fuck out of here." And they're like, "Go!" And they get like chopped, But like,
yeah.
it's always like a foreshadowing. But like, I don't know. That's I don't know. The female in this, I don't know her name.
I don't need. I looked her up, and like she doesn't look anything like how she looked in this movie.
Yeah, this movie made her look really strange.
She has a
Yeah.
scar on her eye.
Yeah. For the first 15 minutes of the movie she's in it?
Well, the
Um,
question I had was, do y'all think she's hot or not
No.
in this movie? Like, not normal.
I don't know who she is, and I've only seen her in this movie, so
Very true.
that's a no from me.
It's just, I mean, like again, it's a taste thing, if you think she's
Oh,
attractive
for
or
sure.
not, but because it was weird. Like, that scene where they have her face and she's turning into Jeremiah, whatever,
Yeah.
and like it's back and forth. I have a feeling they made her look that way just for that.
Yeah.
Just so it blended.
Yeah,
For that
yeah,
one
just so
scene.
you could, and I don't know. Like, I don't think her like
They gave her that
looks have
scar
anything
so
to do
you
with-
would notice it.
Yeah, that way you can notice the transition between the two. But anyways, like it's most of these movies would have like some, I don't want to say A-list, but they would have like some model chick in it, right? And I think it kind of says something that they went the route they did. So, just my
They-
opinion.
They also Mandy has a very weird like sort of tortured childhood. It sounds like that they allude to, where she has a weird story about starlights, which I assume are birds.
Yeah, she said
Um,
birds. I was gonna look it up.
And it
but-
basically sounds like her dad had some weird version of whack-a-mole with a bunch of starlights and like put them in a hole and made the kids come and like bash them and like
she says he hit it so hard that it pushed it into the dirt
yeah.
like a mini grave, and I was like, Jesus fuck.
Mhm.
Like that's crazy.
Yeah, just and you never. There's a whole lot of like where there's that scene where she finds the dead deer, the dead baby deer, and she like
Yeah.
cry, and the dead. It looks weird. It looks like it's like wet.
It looked off, yeah. The
Yeah,
urine.
and like, and she cries as she's looking at it, and there's a bunch of weird like if you dive deeper into the surface, like what's going on with Mandy's character in this, which. Even though I did when she was working at her little gas station or wherever she works, and the lady came in and she was like, "Oh, I like your shirt," and Mandy was like, and like she's like, "Thanks," and then she's like, "What are you reading?" And Mandy was like, "A novel." And I was like, "Why are you, why are you being so off-putting to this woman?" But gosh, I thought it was weird how and then the lady obviously, we know she's a bad lady, but Mandy didn't know that then.
No,
Well, I think she was just supposed to be like the super extrovert or whatever.
Maybe, yeah.
Like, maybe
Yeah.
borderline. I don't want to say autistic, whatever, but like can't pick up on like social cues and like can't relate to people to where she only. It's like when she tells that story, it's out of nowhere, right? They're just chilling,
Mm-hmm.
and then, it's like "What are
that's
you
how
gonna tell me
Cage
about-"
likes them.
So I don't know, now that we're in like a online society, right? I think you'd be surprised how many people, like when we went to eat, and I asked the lady like what was good, and you guys were like, "What? He didn't look at the menu?" And I'm like, "This is normal, guys. People do this all the time."
Weirdos do it.
Yeah, pick something.
Yeah.
You
Be like,
fuck.
hey, what's good? What would you order? And she's like, what do you like? I mean, don't get me wrong. That lady is more like y'all than she was me. But
Yeah.
anyone else would be like, man, these ribs are fantastic. I'm like, cool, set it up. But it's getting to a point to where like everyone's like that, to where like
Well, yeah, but like take Maverick for instance. Maverick will online order all his food so he doesn't have to talk to the people.
yeah,
But that being said, if someone was like, "Hey, what book you reading there?" Maverick was reading a book. I don't think Maverick would just be like a novel. I think he'd be like, "Oh, this is whatever."
I sent you a text the other day saying where you at, and you said in the car.
Well, listen, that's just because it's funny. But
I mean,
Yeah.
Maverick answers us with these things all the time, though.
listen.
But
There's
yeah, I
that-
know what you're saying. You're
yeah.
saying it was like, kind of like a jerk response or whatever.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. If you're at work and you're working, and someone asks you a question, like say you're working, and I'm like, "Hey, nice shirt," and you're like, "Hey, thanks.
Uh-huh.
What you doing?" And you're literally working. You're
Yeah.
like, I'm working."
Uh-huh.
I'm tap dancing. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm dancing. I'm dancing.
Dancing.
I'm dancing. Oh man. Anyways, but I don't know. Like I said, she's a weird character that you have to build in 15 minutes. So I don't know. I'm willing to bet she represents a lot of the female audience who likes horror movies, right? Like,
Sure.
we're all Nick Cage dad bods in the inside.
There's that shot of Mandy when Jeremiah sees her for the first time when she's walking down the road, and it keeps like backing up the same shot, and then it slowly like just goes into a freeze frame. I really like that shot.
I'm telling you, like, this guy, if he made, like, okay, take this movie. I know it's weird and the story's like out there and everything's fucking wonky, right? Like,
Uh-huh.
you just gotta like give it like belief or whatever. But like, imagine this guy did like a Doctor Strange, or he did a big budget film like that. I don't
Yeah.
know how much Mandy was. I think it was like 10
I'll
million.
tell you later.
Oh. But like, imagine this guy. Like, this dude is so weird, but some of his shots are just amazing. Like Black Rainbow was the same way. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I think the guy's gonna do
There-
great things, but
Maybe.
Wait, who's gonna do great things?
I forget his name. It's like Carlos
It's,
Panteros.
Yeah,
or
he's like a
something.
Spanish dude or something.
His name's like Panteros Carlos or something.
There was one part in this movie that scared me, where that I forgot about. It's when Jeremiah's like lounging back, and that lady's talking to him, and he has that one line where he's like, "Please get away," He just holds it. And he's like, "Get away," but then he's like, don't say anything else to me. Go get whatever the guy's name was," and then she goes, "Okay." And then he like slams his fist down and it gets really loud. He's like, "I told you don't talk to me." Caught me off guard. I was like, why do you get so loud, Jeremiah?
You were
Made me jump.
playing your game on Trust Me I'm Thomas, your other YouTube channel.
Uh-huh.
Shout out.
Plug.
Yeah.
And it's like the first zombie you came into where you turn the corner
Mm-hmm.
and you yell, "Oh fuck!" I jump, spilled spaghetti on myself. Like it got me good, and I
Yeah.
was like, I wasn't expecting this. I was expecting him just being loud and not figuring stuff out. But it's like the weird scares that get me. Right?
Yeah.
It's not like the normal. Because there's nothing really scary in this movie. The demon scenes are kind of like when they're laying in bed. Okay, my favorite part of the movie is
Hey,
they're there.
favorite, least favorite part. We'll do it now.
yeah,
Why not?
like because I didn't want to reiterate the same scene twice.
Yeah.
But they're like laying in bed, and then boom, the demons are there, and like just looking at them sleep. That is a constant fear of mine. I wake up
Yeah.
looking around, not because of this movie, just because like,
Mhm.
but I wake up and I'm like making sure my doors are closed still.
Yeah.
Like, there's blocking the door and stuff.
Yeah.
Like an old girl Red was like, if there's a fire, we would die if you had. I was like, all right, acceptable. I was like, you die first, so she's like, how? I was like, I would kill you.
Yeah.
But But and of course I don't have a least. I mean, the least favorite is the. There's no reason to show Nicolas Cage being like a fireman or lumberjack getting on a helicopter.
No, the only reason that's in there is so you can have that chainsaw fight later. Because you know he's like a lumberjack dude. So you're like, oh, chainsaw. I had that same thought. I was like, there's no reason to have this.
Yeah, it's like they just wanted him to ride a helicopter or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, he wanted to ride a helicopter.
Yeah, he wanted. He was like, I'll only do the movie if I can be in a helicopter.
Fun story that he owns that helicopter.
Oh, yeah.
No, I don't know that.
He drove the helicopter. That was a stunt double.
Yeah, playing him. And he was in the pilot seat with his hat pulled down.
Yeah.
My favorite part of this movie's got to be the after he finally gets home and he's in his tidy whities and his shirt and he starts chugging vodka. And he starts and
He just gets progressively louder.
Yeah, like it's very comical when you watch it and like I laugh, but watching it the second time I couldn't help but feel like I'm sure people watch that and they're like, man, that's terrible acting or whatever. But then watching it back, let's say you had like the love of your life just burned in front of you alive. You've been stabbed in the side, everything.
Wrapped in barbed wire.
Yeah, and it's just like you just let it out. And like it's not going to look good or you're not going to sound cool doing it. Like that I feel like is the realest emotion in this movie. It's just his And I just really liked it.
Well, it's the stages of grief or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Or acceptance, right, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And he just has to let it out before he can start.
I see myself like if that was me, I wouldn't hit that stage. I'd go straight from, seeing my wife burn to all right, now I got to get back. So it's not me
to
sitting
reality.
There.
Oh, there goes Brad.
No, it's not me. I might chug some vodka, do a little coke, but I won't be sitting on the toilet in my fucking underwear screaming. Like, no, I'd be laser focused on I gotta kill these fucks.
Yeah.
Which he gets to eventually, but I would have been straight on it like that. And when I was tied up and they were burning my wife, I would have been saying the most ridiculous shit to those motherfuckers.
Yeah.
I would have. I mean, I might cry a little bit, but I'd just be mad, dude. And I'd just be there, just fucking like cussing and saying everything under the stars.
Yeah.
Mostly their mom's a whore, and I'd be like, "Yeah, your dad sucked my cock," like just dumb shit.
Well, that's the question. Like, if you're in that situation, would you rather just die with her, or do you want to live?
You'd want to feel like you want to, but at the same time, I can't let some fuck kill my wife and not kill them. So
they're killing her in front of you. So you're talking all this mad shit. They'll just kill you after then, right?
Yeah.
Like,
they should. If they don't, I'm coming back.
Yeah, I don't really know why they didn't just kill him anyway.
They fucking stabbed they stabbed him in the side, right?
Yeah.
And that shit went in I know what 3 inches look like. That shit was fucking deep. So I'm like,
3 inches isn't deep, but
we'll
leave that as where it is. But as like a side wound, there's nothing there that they're gonna get.
I'm saying it went deeper than 3 inches. It went in a good 5 maybe.
Yeah, but that's your gut. You might nick a kidney or something. Maybe your liver.
But it was high though. It looked like it was high on his side.
That was my.
I'm like, that's like a fucking lung shot right there.
That was my least favorite part of the movie. Was they come over, and he's talking shit to him, and then Jeremiah pulls out this knife, and he has a name for it. I can't remember. But he goes on a 2-minute spiel about it was forged with and all this stuff, and then all that knife ends up being is a little stab, and that knife never really has a role in the movie. I was like,
why did you see it again?
I don't think you ever do. I was like, why did you build up this knife?
Isn't it supposed to poison them or whatever?
Maybe.
But That and it's all about like transforming him into a monster, right?
Yeah.
Like the
Unintentionally,
bloody car
apparently.
scene where he's like,
Yeah.
looking at him. So,
That's another favorite of mine.
I don't know. My least favorite part of this movie has to be dude's dick. There's no point.
Don't
They-
look at me.
No, hold
they-
on.
Look at me.
But you're telling me you didn't laugh when then the lady starts laughing, and so he starts like jacking off to like combat her.
I mean, it's just a weird part of the movie that
It's weird. And he's playing the song that he wrote about himself, about how Jeremiah Goldtree or whatever was a wise
Yeah.
man. Shit.
Yeah. Is
No.
this you singing? It's like, yes.
Yeah. Hey, Maverick, what's your favorite and least favorite part? You already said what your favorite was, but I can't remember what.
I don't know. I had a couple favorites. When he fucking shot that dude with the crossbow the one time he used it, and then decided to get in his truck, which was, I think, a really nice box Chevy, which I personally would like.
Pretty
Like,
sure
that's
it's a Bronco, but
No, it was a truck, right?
no,
Well-
I think it was just an old Bronco. But I don't know. I'll have to look.
He
Yeah.
fucking ran that man over. And then, for some reason, fucking flips the truck when he hits him,
Uh-huh.
like 9 times. Which I don't think is realistic, but... that scene was cool. The chainsaw scene was just funny. And I think my least favorite...
But you forgot him doing a handful of blow too.
Yeah,
He
he
does.
just like picks up broken glass
Yeah.
and just
He does the
and,
blow,
like,
and then right after that, isn't that where the other person takes the shot at him, and he gets up and goes over and he goes.
he fucking
Like-
combat rolls. Yeah,
That was great, dude.
he fucking combat rolled over the couch, fucking broke that man's neck, and I was like, Jesus Christ! And then like takes like a fucking look at the camera or like a combat
Yeah,
pose.
it was great.
Fucking wild.
Anyway.
This is the weird part with the chemist too. It's kind
The
of like
chemist
awkward.
the chemist is there to tell him where the children are at right now.
Yeah.
But the chemist,
That's probably
obviously,
my least favorite.
the chemist scene, is a little just sort of.
And the
in
fucking tiger, I was like,
Hey,
come on.
that's
Tiger Lizzie.
The guy from
It's the guy from Three from Hell. It's
Three from
Otis.
Hell, yeah.
Not Otis. Otis'
Not
brother
Otis,
that I can't
brother,
remember.
yeah.
It's also the Night King that I forgot to mention when we did Three from Hell. He's the guy that plays the Night King.
He's in a lot of stuff.
I
I don't know if he's the Night King.
He is the Night King.
I have to look that up.
Okay. I saw a fun thing where apparently the Tiger Lizzie in the script was a lizard, a giant lizard. And then when the guy showed up on set, the director was like, "Oh yeah, Lizzie's a tiger now." The guy was like, "Okay." So
Think about how much money it would take to just CGI.
CGI a lizard, yeah,
Like,
I
yeah, I,
think-
rented this tiger for like $100. We're just gonna use it instead.
yeah.
Beautiful tiger though, right?
Oh yeah.
Nice tiger. That shot, super rock and roll of the tiger, like at the red moon or whatever in the back. It's cool.
The
Like, I'm
animated
super colorblind,
ones.
so I'm not sure what I see versus what y'all see.
Uh huh.
But like the weird colors in this and the times where they're like super vivid and
Yeah.
then super muted are like I said,
Yeah.
I love the way this movie's shot.
The animated ones where it just
That-
turns into like a comic.
Yeah.
Fucking, it looked like straight out of like a comic book. Was so fucking dope.
Yeah, I kind of want to see that guy make an animated movie like that now.
It probably cost them like a couple grand just to get those few shots.
It reminds me
right.
of one of my favorite part, not my favorite, but one of my favorite parts in the Kill Bill is when you get the background on the I can't remember Lucy Liu's name, but then it's like all in, yeah, it's like all in like the anime style and shit, and I'd be like, oh man, Quentin Tarantino should just make a movie like this, but I feel the same way with this guy. He should make a movie like that. This movie had a budget of $6 million.
Sheesh.
Made a box office of 1.4 million, which
Yup.
isn't really surprising. A lot of people don't go see weird like off-brand movies like this.
To be fair, I don't think it released at theaters. I think it only did certain ones.
Yeah, it was. I'm sure it was in like the Alamo Draft houses and all that good stuff. But
Because it won a Sundance Award for like best film
Yeah.
or something like that. So it was like highly regarded, but they just didn't release it for some reason. I don't think they could get the ratings right. But
yeah, they have the. There's that one scene of they blow the horn of Obraxis to some.
That was the coolest. Fuck, that's another one of my favorites.
Yeah.
That's the coolest fucking sound, or the whistle, which
Oh, the little-
he didn't
whatever
like.
it was.
Yeah, I don't understand how that worked at all, but like he wasn't. It's not like playing like a flute or whatever.
Yeah.
He's not moving his. He's hitting different notes without moving like at least his hand or like finger holes. But that was the coolest fucking sound
Yeah.
I've ever heard in my life.
And he gets back in the van and he's like, "All right, now we wait." And just that one fucking piece of shit like kid or whatever, just like
Playing with the window.
and
Yeah.
rolling it up and stuff. And I was like, "Oh god."
I thought they were there to sacrifice him and that other dude.
No, we
Well,
knew they were there to sacrifice the porker.
yeah.
So-
Yeah.
Which then randomly, like that kid lives, because then they go all the way to Mandy's house to kidnap him. Which you get that cool shot of them at the edge of the woods and like the red light beaming from them from behind, and they're like standing all cool posed and stuff. But then that kid is there, and you see him get pulled in through to the black or whatever. So like he lived for a while, but yeah. Do you think
I think
he?
the deed was done, and then they were like, "All right,
Yeah.
it's time to
Do you think that he should have? Because Nicolas Cage kills everyone in this movie besides the chemist and besides the girl who was forced to do the Russian roulette. And I remember when I watched
Yeah.
it for the first time, I was like, "Why didn't you kill her?" And then watching it back, I was like, "Okay, I guess she's like the timid. You can tell she's not really sure if she's into all this or whatever." But still, at that point, it seemed weird that Nicolas Cage didn't still kill her to me.
I think that was the
Nah.
last like remaining bits of his humanity.
Humanity,
Yeah.
yeah.
Tom, did you ever say your worst and best parts?
Yeah. Yeah.
What was your worst? What was your least favorite part?
My least favorite was the knife, how it didn't really have
Oh.
any meaning. And we can
I
talk.
kind of like the whole movie, right?
Yeah.
Like, he goes gets the killer crossbow and just makes his big deal. And
He shoots it
uses
twice. He shoots
Yeah.
the guy off the bike, and then he shoots it later, and that dude just pulls it out of his neck. Which
was
that fight
wild.
was cool, because then the dude even like they fight for a while, and then the guy's like, "She's still burning in hell" or whatever, and so Nicolas Cage like kicks him into the fire, chops his head off, and lights a cigarette with his flaming head or whatever, and it was
Yeah,
Yeah.
they keep fucking with him. Then like
They do.
she's still burning and starts laughing. I thought
He-
that was hilarious.
like everyone said. Even homie, he ambushes him on the road, the one like right hand man to Jeremiah. And the guy's like, she's still screaming or whatever. And Nick Cage just sort of puts the spear at like the guy's mouth and shoves it in. Which
and then the most fucking blood I've ever seen comes out of that dude's face.
is pretty good.
And I was like, Jesus, that's kind of a lot
The-
of blood.
The biggest improvement this movie made over Black Rainbow is that the main villain of the movie got a cool death, and I felt like he really like got what he deserved.
They hit it home with that.
With
yeah.
him getting his head crushed and then, like his eye popping
I'm
out.
your
and
god now.
Yeah.
Fucking crushes his head.
throwing out a Freddy quote for you on the. But yeah,
Yo.
I thought it was really cool.
This isn't about this movie, but I was reading about the Black Rainbow,
Mm-hmm.
and apparently the girl's the villain in that movie.
Yeah.
She's the bad one.
Yeah.
Wait,
And they went in
the
details
lady?
about- yeah, the lady who escapes at the end.
Well, yeah.
She's the monster.
Well, it's like how if you think about Mario's the bad guy, in like
Right.
Super Mario.
It's a
what the fuck?
It's a
you
me,
bring up.
Bowser.
But like, yeah, at the end there, that's supposed to signify like the boogeyman going to houses,
Yeah.
like affecting and so it's like, oh, you can't really say about the main guy getting killed at the end.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've been down some rabbit holes. I don't know if I agree with that, but
Yeah.
it's just one way to interpret it. But
There's that weird. So when they kidnap Mandy, they drop what I assume is acid into her eye, so her vision's all messed up, and that's why we get the freaky scene of the sort of faces like transitioning or whatever. But then they pull out like a pickled wasp, and they sting her in the neck with it. And
Yeah.
that was just a weird little. She's like, I call this the cherry on top.
Yeah, it's just I guess it's supposed to be like one of those hallucinating from pain type things.
Uh huh.
Because I think that's one of those like bullet ant hornet things.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Right
I mean,
in
I'm
the
down.
neck.
If
Yeah.
you went to a party and they're like, "Hey, you want to try some of this?" I'll be like, "Put it in my eye." And they're like, "Hey, do you want the cherry on top?" I'm like, I like cherries,
Yeah.
right? Like, you know,
That
yellow.
yeah, that older woman in the gang was such a weird. Like then she tries to seduce Nicolas Cage later, and she's like, "I can give you all your pleasures and everything." And
Yeah,
Nicolas
I
Cage
was
just
almost
tosses her
like,
head.
I was like, is he gonna plow this chick because she's talking all this shit about how like homeboy said she was the best he's ever had in bed, and I was like, oh, is it? I was like, it's alluding to they're just gonna bang it out real quick, but
So
no, that
I don't
didn't
know.
happen.
That lady always seemed really sad to me because like you see it all the time, to where it's like these ladies who like back in their prime or like when they were younger, real attractive. Like,
Uh-huh.
people buy them everything they want, everything like
Yeah.
that. And then they get to the point where they're like, "Hey, you're 50 now, or whatever."
Yeah.
You know, years haven't been too
Yeah,
kind to
because you can
ya.
tell she's still trying to be Jeremiah's like main girl, and then Mandy comes along, and then when it doesn't turn out right, Mandy gets burned up. You can see her over in the back like smiling because she's like,
Yeah,
I mean, even the younger girl, he was like, "Go away, bring me Sister Kate or whatever."
yeah,
And it's like, oh, it reminded me of. Okay, I'm not gonna use names,
okay,
but it reminded me of a former coworker we had.
yeah,
Where I was like, back in the day, you're probably like a pistol, right? Like
Yeah.
now, though,
yeah.
I'll
There's
give
Very
you that
young.
much to offer.
there's a part when Jeremiah is doing this whole monologue to Mandy or whatever, where he's like, "You're special, Mandy," or whatever. And that's like an hour into the movie or something. And I remember thinking to myself, is this the first time that you hear, oh, this is Mandy? Like, I don't know if they ever say her, which obviously you're watching and you're like, oh, this is Mandy. But that was the first time that they're like, yeah, the man. And I just thought it was interesting to me that you don't hear that's Mandy until like an hour into the movie.
You want to hear a weird out there thing that
Okay.
people talk about in the movie?
Sure.
So if you break up the word Mandy and you
Mhm.
spaced it at man, it's like
Yeah.
man die because it's all about Nicolas Cage dying as like humanity
Mm-hmm.
and like becoming a monster.
Yeah.
So that's why they went with that name. Supposedly. Now, this could be some like, dude on the internet who's like, I just watched this movie for the 17th time and I'm gonna make
Yeah.
this up. Like
Yeah.
people always be making shit up. And the guy's like, no, it was the name of my cat, like, and you're
Uh-huh.
like, no, we figured it out. So, I don't know, it's a good film.
We we covered our first trauma movie kinda with when Nick Cage and Mandy are just sitting there watching TV and it's like that guy getting blasted and he's like that's a trauma movie. I don't remember, it's like a trauma alien invasion type of movie. I remember watching it and being like, oh. There's that, and then there's the weird thing where he gets home and he starts watching a minute commercial about the Cheddar Goblin. Like,
That fucking threw me off.
yeah.
How is that not copyrighted by Kraft?
Well, I don't know. Well, it's a
I
made up
mean-
commercial.
Yeah, and then later
But
on,
it
the
had
Cheddar
the-
Goblin commercial comes back.
It had the Kraft logo and everything. I think it was an actual Kraft like macaroni and cheese commercial.
No, they made it especially for this movie. The guy who made it is he does some Cartoon Network or Adult Swim weird show, and they hired him to make this weird like macaroni and cheese commercial.
Home for the Holidays? Is that guy?
No.
Ooh, the chair, man. The chair be making noise.
That was the chair in the video. That was me fart just now, though. I like. There's the when Nick Cage is talking to the dude, and the guy's like, "Yeah, if you're gonna fight the Black Skulls, your survival rate isn't good. and you'll most likely die. Nicolas Cage is like, don't be negative. No, yeah.
That's...
I don't believe you didn't like the pure fucking evil man line instead of
Which one's that?
when he's talking to the guy and he's trying to describe the Black Death or whatever.
Uh-huh.
So I figured that would be your favorite line of the movie. I can't remember it.
Yeah.
But he's like, pure fucking evil, man. And when he's going to get Killer or whatever the
Oh, no.
So
Yeah.
That shit was weird. He was breaking down, but it was like over the top.
why did you put your hood on? What are you
Listen,
you climbing Everest after this?
It's cold.
I don't know exactly what the line was because it was hard to hear, but I'm pretty sure this is what it was. But we talked about him breaking the dude's neck and doing that crazy face. Right before it, he just starts going, "You're in my shit. You're in my shit." And I was like,
thought he
what?
said you shot my shirt.
You're in my shirt! You're in my shirt!
I don't.
Is
like,
that
like
what
I
he-
said subtitles? I have no idea.
I don't know. I know there's
Because
the
he
part.
shot?
I know there's the part where he rips the shirt and he's like, "That was my favorite shirt." And then if you
Yeah.
notice later, they show when him and Mandy meet for the first time and he's wearing the same shirt. So it's like, oh, was that because it was a shirt he met when he met her? But I don't know. Just looking through any last minute things we missed from this movie.
I can't believe y'all gave it 4s.
There's a lot of like shots I really like, and there's a couple lines in there, but all around it just sort of, I don't know, drags on a little bit for me.
It's like just a revenge tale, right? But it's out there.
Yeah.
So it's out there like I expected the Hellraiser movies to be and like stuff like that. And
Yeah, and then it wasn't.
I want to say, okay, this is gonna sound weird, but it's out there like, to me, Hereditary tried to be out there like this movie,
Oh yeah.
right? Like, and Midsommar kind of the same, right? To where it's Midsommar, we haven't watched it here yet, but it's like
I'm not-
super bright and festive and stuff. But like,
Oh, I don't
it's
know
like-
about that.
Well,
Hereditary
style-wise.
seems Midsummer. I can see it. Hereditary
Yeah.
was super dark all the time for me.
Yeah, and it was like,
Like if anything, Color Out of Space is totally like inspiration from this one, even though it's a Lovecraft thing or whatever.
yeah, it's, I don't know. They all try to, like, this movie tries to be based in reality, but at
Uh-huh.
the same time, like, over the top, just weirdness, right? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know, penis knives and everything else. But
The only other thing that I looked at that we forgot is the very end when Jeremiah's like, "I don't kneel to you or whatever, I'm your god," and then like Nicolas Cage like goes to get him again, and then the dude's like, "I'll suck your dick."
yeah,
That's how I think all these fucking fanatics are.
Yeah.
That like have this like god complex.
Mhm.
When you boil them down to it, and you have your hands are on their fucking throats and they're on their knees, they'll suck your dick.
Not
mean-
Manson.
I don't.
You're telling me Manson wasn't sucking cock?
I mean, he spent so much time in jail.
He spent a lot of
that-
time. He probably sucked a couple.
Like, even before he was well, he's always been Manson, but like before he was famous, whatever, he was in and out of jail for like 13
Yeah.
years.
This
So-
movie was super Manson-y. Like even to the point of the failed musician like thing. And yeah. Which then again, it seems like I think you just say that because what I would say Manson and the dude who with the Kool-Aid are like the two famous cult leaders. But
Well, the Waco, Texas guy
yeah.
burned everyone alive.
So like it's very easy anytime there's a cult movie to be like, just Charles Manson. But that's just because Charles Manson led a cult that is.
I'm not
Really?
gonna go into things that may have made chefs quit popular animated cartoons. I'm not gonna go into, I'm not
Yeah.
gonna name any specifics.
Yeah.
but I mean, I think Maverick's right. Like, when you boil it down, like these guys who want absolute power over people,
Mm-hmm.
once they're in a position where they have absolutely no power,
Yeah.
I think they change real quick.
Yeah.
Real
quick.
fast.
You a bitch.
He a bitch.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, it's funny how like even the hardest dudes, once they're like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it. So
I'll suck your dick. And I was
maybe
like,
not
yeah,
that
you
far,
will.
but like, yeah, it's one of those things where like your fight or flight like loses, so then you're just trying to fight, you know? And you're
Yeah.
like, oh no.
So,
It's anyways.
anyways.
It's like I said, solid movie. Like best movie. Like I said, it's one of my favorites.
Hmm.
So it's in my top 10
Top 10.
of all time.
Really?
Just regular movies, like not even
Yeah.
horror, or thriller, or whatever that's considered.
Yeah.
But,
I remember because you were going back and forth on whether to pick it because you didn't really think it was horror enough. I remember being like, it's a horror movie, which I still think it is a horror movie, but I can see what you mean. Like, it's not a very horror-y horror movie. I would even say it's borderline, not even a thriller. Like, it's just sort of a weird,
like sci-fi action.
yeah, yeah,
Like like I said, I don't know what you'd base it on, but
Yeah.
like
but, So anyway, Maverick, you son of a bitch. What are we watching next week? You better come with a good one.
Next, we are watching The Wretched.
The Wretched?
The Wretched.
why'd you do this thing with your hands? Just
That was,
That was me stretching.
what is this?
Stretching.
Do you have a trailer or something? The
There
Wretched.
we go.
Oh, by the way, this lady dying in this film is the most brutal death I've ever seen in a movie.
The Hostel 2 lady? The
What?
Wretched. Oh, fuck, Maverick, no.
What?
It's an IFC Midnight movie.
What the fuck is that?
That's what IFC is like this weird... Hunter x Hunter was an IFC Midnight movie. It's fun. No, it's fine. It's fun to make fun of IFC movies.
Because I think I'm gonna do that from now on. Like we've gone through like there's a couple movies I've seen that I want to suggest,
Uh-huh.
but I think I'm mostly gonna pick things that hopefully none of us have seen,
Yeah.
so we all go
Yeah.
into it with a blank mind, you know.
Yeah.
I looked at the trailer for this one already, and I was like, it seems like it might be a little iffy, but I was like, you know what? Fuck it.
All right.
Hey, Dark Tapes, those are one of the greatest movies we've ever watched.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, hey, next week, The Wretched. So look forward to
I think
that.
it's on Netflix. It looks like a Netflix original, to be honest.
Well, it's an IFC Midnight original.
I don't know what that is.
IFC's a channel.
Yeah,
Get fucked.
it's like a Netflix.
It's one
original,
of
but
yeah,
not
it's one of them channels that sort of borders on they'll allow like F words and stuff, So it's like is
But
it
not
cable or yeah. So, so next week, The Wretched. Thanks for listening to Mandy. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff.
Watch
Mon-
this film and tell them why they're wrong for giving it a 4.
Do it.
Keep
Monday.
in mind,
Pussy.
you might have to watch it twice.
Monday coming out. We got overtime of Hellraiser 2. So look forward to that one. And yeah, got any last thoughts to share before we sign off here?
Something we didn't touch on, but the soundtrack for Mandy's fucking amazing. It's like
It's
this
pretty fucking good.
This techno synth, like laid back, chill music, like
Yeah.
a lot of 10 out of 10. The soundtrack for this movie alone makes it deserve a 7. So, all you people who give it 4s need to get your ass beat.
There's only 2 of us here. All right. Well, there you go.
But you gave it 4.5. So
Yeah, I don't count. It's just Maverick. Maverick's door
really?
busts open. It's Tyler.
it's like Kool-Aid, man.
Yeah, I just imagine like Bam when he used to beat up his dad, and Maverick's like, "Come on, knock it off, man!" Like,
Hey,
anyway.
put some likes on this video for Maverick's freshly cut hairdo.
Yo, leave me alone.
Well, I was
Well,
just shouting out you.
yeah, talk about your hair.
Fuck you, bud.
Not
All
your
right, well,
buddy,
okay,
pal.
you need to get that little curl taken care of in the front there,
Yeah.
looking like Clark Kent's retarded
Yeah, I don't know
brother.
what the fuck that is. How dare you?
Superman, Super Downsy, man. That's what you. Anyway.
Thanks for joining us, guys.
Thanks for joining.
My voice broke on the end. God damn it.